Today we'll be learning to draw isometric drawings and isometric projections. Basically, isometric is a view like the orthogonal view and the isometric view. These are type of projections in AutoCAD. Isometric means equal measurements. It's basically a 3D view of an object that we use to view in 2D. When we'll draw it, the final outcome, it will be representing a 3D object, but the way we have drawn it, it would be in 2D. So let's start. And for that, first of all, we'll have to change our drawing style. Usually we use this rectangular interface of AutoCAD, but for isometric we'll change the view, and for changing that view we'll use a command that's snap style, S N A P S T Y L, snap style, and we'll press enter. They are asking to enter a value for the snap style. By default it's set as 0 for the rectangular view, the one we have right now, and when we'll press 1 and enter, the view of our AutoCAD interface has changed. You can see it on your screens. It has now converted to isometric view. For this, that's the beginning, and now we'll start with our drawing. So first of all, let's select line command and just specify a arbitrary point anywhere on your screens. I'm specifying the first point, but I want to create in 150 angle and 30 degrees angle. So for that, I am turning on ortho mode so that it can be moved just in 90 degree and 150 degrees, and here 30 degrees. Okay, so first of all, the first line I am creating, that is of 10 units, and the direction and the angle is 150 degrees. Here it is. Now another line of 90 degrees and 10 units, another line of 10 units but in the direction of 30 degrees, angle of 30 degrees, enter, and then again we are creating a line that is pointing towards down, 90 degree angle, again with the value of 10 units. Now I want to create a line that should move towards right. My cursor is not moving, and for that I'll change the isographic mode, and for that isometric mode, and for that I am pressing F5. It is used to change the view of isometric drawings. Right now you can see in your command line it is saying isoplane top. It's the top mode right now because I pressed F5. Once again I'm pressing, I'm getting isoplane right, it's the right view, isoplane left, it's the left view, and isoplane top, that's the top view. So I want to work on the isoplane top, so I'm selecting this, and now I want to create another line, same of 10 units with 30 degree angle. Here it is. We are creating another line of 10 units in the angle of 90 degrees, and we are connecting it at the end point of our previous line. Unit is 10. Okay, let's press escape key. Now again I want to create a line that should be from here in the angle of 30 degrees, 10 units, and here it is. it's not joining this endpoint because we have to change the mode. We have to change the view. I'm pressing F5 key, and here it is. It's easy decombining, 10 units, 30 degree. That's it. We have created a cube, and now we want to create we want to replicate the line. For that, when we were drawing in the rectangular view, in the normal view, we used to use offset command. But here we are not using offset command because offset command is used to create the objects in parallels. But here we don't want them to be in parallel. So for that we'll be using copy command. Okay, and I'm selecting this line because I want to copy this. I'm pressing enter. They're asking to specify the base point, so that's the base point, and I want to move it in this direction, but it's not, so I'm changing the view again, and here it is. Now it's moving over here, and I want to set it at the mid, and the mid, obviously the distance is 10, so the midline is at 5, and I'm pressing enter. Here it is. Line has been copied. I'm pressing enter to remove the command that we were using. You can also press exit. That's it. Now we want to create a circle, but remember we are not using circle command over here. We are using ellipse command, and from the draw panel we'll select ellipse command and the option axis end. We'll be using this ellipse, and for that, first of all, they are asking us to specify the endpoint, arc, center, or isocircle. We'll be selecting isocircle. Okay, and here we are selecting the midpoint, but we don't want it to be in this shape, so again we are changing the plane. I'm pressing F5 from the keyboard. That's right. And now we are specifying the radius, that is 5. Enter. Here it is. It has been created, and now I don't want this line, so I'm just deleting it. Okay, now I want to move this circle at this location, and for that I'll be using move command. Here it is. They're asking us to select the object. I'm selecting the circle and I'm pressing enter. They're asking us to specify the base point. This center point is the base point, and I'm moving it to the midpoint of this line. Here it is. Now I want to create another circle on this side. Okay, and for that I'll be using copy command from modify panel. Here it is. I'm selecting this object and then pressing enter. They're asking us to specify the base point. This top corner is our base point. This endpoint is the base point, and I'm dragging the circle to this endpoint, and I'm pressing escape to remove the command. Now I want to create a line, but for that, first we'll just zoom it a bit so that the objects become more clear, and for that we are using zoom in, and now the pen to create a proper view. Here it is. I'm selecting the line command, and one thing that you have to remember, that you don't have to select the tangent, you have to select the quadrants. See, I kept it over here, and it said, before it said that was tangent point, but right now this is a quadrant, so I'm selecting this to the quadrant of this circle. Here it says it's quadrant. That's it. Okay, now we'll be trimming the unwanted and unnecessary parts. And for that, I'm selecting the trim option from modify panel, and I'll be selecting the cutting edges first. First we'll be selecting this as the cutting edge, this as the cutting edge, and this as the cutting edge. Okay, I'm pressing enter. Okay, and now the lines that we don't want are this part and this part of the circle. That's it. Press enter. That's how it is. Okay, now let's move further. Again, we want to create a circle at this point, and for that we won't be using circle command, we'll be using ellipse command, same axis end from the draw panel, and that's the midpoint I am selecting. That's the midpoint. Okay, first we'll be selecting iso circle, then we'll be selecting this midpoint. So that's the midpoint, and the diameter, sorry, the radius is 2.5. Here it is. I don't want this line, so I'll be just deleting this. Okay, so that's our shape, but let's just do something more. Now we'll learn another thing, that is to use the dimensions. For this object we'll be using an option aligned. Okay, it's in the annotation panel, aligned option. You can also write dim aligned because we are using the dimensions. So the code word or the command is dim aligned, DIMALIGNED. Here I am selecting it, and for that first we'll select this endpoint and the second endpoint. Okay, and here it is. Then we'll stretch it towards down. Here we can find this over here. Here we can see this dimensions, they are not visible, means we cannot see them properly. So for that we'll be using here in the annotation panel you can see 4 options. This one is for dimension style, the second number option. Okay, we'll open this, and here you can see it's manage dimension styles. We'll open the manager, dimension style manager. The third option on the right hand side is modify. We'll click it, and on the 4th tab we have fit option. From there we'll just scale it a bit. Here the scale is to 1 unit, and we'll be scaling it to 5. Press OK, close, and here you can see the dimension size has improved. It has scaled up. Okay, likewise you can use the other dimensions from here, or maybe here, or maybe here. Let's try again. I'm using this aligned, and I'm selecting this endpoint to this endpoint. Okay, and here it is, 10, right? And from this endpoint, sorry, I didn't select aligned. From this endpoint to this endpoint, right? These dimensions are very important when you'll be drawing something with very precise measurements. You'll have to recheck what you are using and how the lines you have created are, if they are equal or not. Okay, so here we can see the dimensions. These are 4-digit precise dimensions. Let's change them to 1 digit, and for that we'll select the annotation from the panel, and here again we'll select the dimension style manager and the modify option, and from that the option that we have over here after fit on the fifth number, it's primary unit, and we'll be changing this precision number second to 1 digit. Okay, and when we confirm it, we'll close it. You can see the units, they have been changed from 10.000 to just 10 units. Okay, another thing that you can change from this dimension style manager is the view this text is. I am again opening the modify panel, annotation panel, and dimension style manager, and from that the text, the appearance of text. Here the text placement. Okay, I don't want it to be centered, I want it to be above. Okay, and I want it to be aligned as ISO standard. Okay, okay, done. That's it. Moreover, first the text was lying below this line, now it's above this line, and the standard is ISO standard. One thing that we can see over here are this dimensions, they are not aligned with our object. So for that we will select this annotate panel, and from the dimensions we will select oblique, that's the second one. Okay, and we'll select this as the object because we want to set this. Press enter. They're asking us for oblique angle. The angle over this, it's 150, so we'll be entering 150 degrees. Enter, and it has been aligned. Okay, again if we want to change this, we'll be selecting these as our objects, pressing enter, and the angle is 30, so we'll be pressing 30, and they were aligned. Okay, that's it.